Good evening. I'm David Sotek, and our sports ticker is brought to you by the 1890 Initiative. During a press conference today, Nebraska football head coach Matt Rhule discussed what he's looking forward to with this Saturday's annual Red-White Spring Game to show the fans what he has in store for next season.
The goal is to play a game. You know, there's two teams. We'll probably, Mitch, have to put the offensive line in like gray like we did last year so they can rotate through. It'll come down to depth, receivers, if we have enough guys at receiver. A lot of guys, have been limited, like Mikai and them. They can't get hit. They practice for us. So, but I'm pretty sure we'll be able to have two teams. And what am I looking for? I'm looking for a high standard of football. Like it can't be like last year where, you play well for a while, then you start fumbling the ball around. I don't care if you're a 2 or 3, whoever. Like the standard better be high. So if it's ugly, then we didn't accomplish what we wanted to accomplish this spring, right? So I'm expecting us to play really good football, and I look at this. A lot of people look at this like it's like a throwaway, like it's a celebration. I don't. I look at this like it's football, and I expect us to play good football and watch guys compete.
Kickoff for the spring game is set for 11 a.m. with gates opening at 9:30 a.m. Coverage on the Huskers radio network begins at 9 a.m. as well. Coming up later in the show, we will hear more from head coach Matt Rhule. Nebraska track and field earned some awards this week. Shot put thrower Axelina Johansson earned the Big Ten Women's Field Athlete of the Week. Johansson threw the Olympic standard on her birthday last Saturday with a throw of 18.82 meters. That was the longest throw at the Michael Johnson Invitational by over 2 meters. With this throw, she is standing at the second furthest throw in the NCAA and first in the Big Ten. Finally, some more NBA playoff action happening tonight. The Cleveland Cavaliers are at the Kia Center facing off against the Orlando Magic for Game 3 of their series. The Cavaliers are taking charge with 2 victories heading into this game. They tipped off moments ago at 6 p.m. The Philadelphia 76ers are hosting the New York Knicks for Game 3 of their series. The Knicks looking strong with 2 victories under their belt. That game is set to tip off at 6:30 p.m. And Game 3 between the Denver Nuggets and Los Angeles Lakers will be in swing later tonight. Denver leads the series 2-0 with no stopping in sight. Tip-off is set for 9 p.m. Our sports ticker is sponsored by the 1890 Initiative. Do you want to support Huskers student athletes through name, image, and likeness? If so, visit 1890nebraska.com. Coming up next is the first hour of Sports Nightly, right here on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who remind you to buckle up and put the phone down.
Here comes the 3-2 pitch. Lifted to right. And drifting over near the line is Williams, and looking up, and it is gone. Wind blows it right out of here. It's a grand slam for Will Walsh. It's 5-0 Big Red. To the wall, reaches back, but it's gone. A 2-run home run for Ava Bradwell. A moonshot that just cleared the wall and left. And the Huskers take a 3-1 lead in the second.
The hitter now, the 1-0 pitch. Swings and lines one. Diving grab by Dylan Carey deep in the hole. Holy cow, what a play from DC.
The pitch from Chambers. Cope golfs one to center and deep. Going back Delgadillo, and it's gone! 3-run home run, Emerson Cope. Make it 5-2 Nebraska.
Here is your host, Jessica Coody, on the Huskers Radio Network.
Hi, everyone, and welcome into Sports Nightly. Happy Thursday to you. It's our final show of the week as we will hand things over to Husker baseball coming up tomorrow night, a home series. And it's a busy weekend, once again, for us here at the Huskers Radio Network. We have all your spring game coverage, pregame, game broadcast. Greg Sharpe will be on the call for us there, so we're excited about that. And then baseball, softball, it's a busy weekend, but we love that around here. So we've also got a busy show coming up for you over the next couple of hours. And I did want to start, though, with a pretty cool announcement from Nebraska after the fall and winter sports in the Athletics Director Cup standings. The Huskers are in at number 7, and pretty cool, really good. It's always, a big goal for an athletics department because it overall, it accumulates overall all of the athletic programs and their success, and so you get points for how you finish. And so we were visiting earlier about it, and so men's gymnastics just gave the Huskers a lot of points with how they finished at nationals, and so you've got all the teams that accumulate these points, and it's a pretty cool, I guess, bragging part for the athletics department. But so Nebraska in at number 7, and what's cool about this is that the Huskers haven't finished in the top 10 since 2000 and the top 20 since 2010, and again, we'll wait and accumulate the spring sports, but you still have potentially a men's tennis team that could make the postseason and give you some points. Track and field certainly, absolutely will rack up some points for you there, both men's and women. And then baseball, softball, if they make the postseason, you can get some points there. So really the Huskers could very well finish in the top 15 when this thing is all said and done. But the top 10 as it stands right now is Stanford number 1, Texas number 2, North Carolina number 3, Michigan number 4, Penn State number 5, Notre Dame 6, Nebraska 7, Ohio State 8, Wisconsin 9, Alabama 10. So really cool for the Huskers, and again, just shows the overall success across the board from this athletics department. And I feel like it speaks to the momentum that we've been feeling around here for quite some time. And I remember talking with Coach Rhule last summer, and she had mentioned that you can feel it. It's palpable. And so it's certainly starting to come to fruition. And I think it'll be a lot of these programs too will continue to build off of the success that they had. And in soccer, by the way, that Elite 8 appearance was a huge, racked up a lot of points there too. So awesome stuff for the Huskers. And speaking of that, we're going to hear much more about that coming up here in just a few minutes as the athletics director Troy Dannen will be here to chat about that and much more, give us an update on everything that he's been up to. We're also going to hear from Jeremiah Sirles coming up in hour number 2 as we gear up for the spring game, and Mikai Gbayor, linebacker for the Huskers. So lots to get to here tonight, but we are going to kick things off here with a spring practice report, our final one before the spring game.
The 1890 Initiative presents the Nebraska Football Practice Report.
We're talking about practice.
Do you want to support Husker student athletes through name, image, and likeness? If so, visit 1890nebraska.com.
So Matt Rhule met with the media today and answered questions and previewing the annual spring game. And one of the questions he was asked was about, they've scrimmaged throughout the spring, but what does it do when you are in front of a big crowd, expecting over 60,000 to be in attendance? How does that raise the stakes for this team?
That's what I mean. Like, I want to know who's going to go out there. And like I've said to our team, the Tuesday, Wednesday Huskers last year were better than the Saturday Huskers. The Saturday Huskers last year, doubt, fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of what are they going to say about me, all of that stuff affects performance for young people. And so Tuesday, Wednesday, you get beat. The next play, you're like, all right, whatever, and you play the next play. You get beat on Saturdays, all of a sudden you go to silence. How we handled that wasn't elite. And so that's my job, and that's our staff's job. That's also our players' job. So I'm very much excited to see us play in front of a crowd. And I'm very much excited to see us operate in front of a crowd and see how we do, see where are we in that. So just like there's a continuum in terms of how we're blocking, how we're tackling, how we're carrying the ball, there's also a continuum in terms of are we improving at how we handle stress and how we handle pressure.
Of course, he was asked about the quarterbacks, specifically those freshman quarterbacks, how he expects them to handle the red-white scrimmage.
I don't know. That's what I'm excited about. To me, great players do what they do. They don't do new stuff. And so, the analogy I just gave our players in here is a lot of them play Madden. If you call engage 8 on defense in Madden, and it doesn't, engage 8. All right, I said that I don't play it. And I was like, they still have engage 8, and they're like, yeah. If you call engage 8 and then 8 guys don't blitz, you think your game's broke. Well, when you're calling plays and you're calling an out cut by 1 and a shallow cross by 2, and they don't do that, you're like, how do you call the plays, right? So my challenge to the guys is just, hey, do what you've been doing all spring, and that's really true for the quarterbacks, right? I think with the headsets and the operation and all that stuff, being in 2 minute for us will really help. so that we can, I don't want to get to the first game, and if a freshman's starting, we have a 66% chance of a freshman starting. It's what I've said to the coaches all spring. So I don't want to get there and all of a sudden it's the first time. And then if Heinrich's starting, it's his first time using the headset. So I really want this operation to flow, especially at the end of games. So I'm hoping it's loud so that the guys get used to, hey, we're on the road. We're at Purdue. We have to go win the game. At the end of the game in 2 minutes, what's it going to sound and feel like? So those are the things I'm really looking for from a football standpoint. If it doesn't look the way we play, so be it.
66% of a freshman starting. I guess that never thought of it that way. All right, there's a pretty impressive list of recruits that are going to be in attendance. It's a big recruiting weekend, some big-time names. And so Coach Rhule was asked, did he learn anything last year about the importance of this week in recruiting and how you can use this to showcase and spring forward to build this recruiting class?
We put an official visit this year for the spring game as opposed to last year where we didn't. Last year we had visitors and all that. We've had a ton of people come through in the spring, but for the guys that are far away, we're using this as our official visit, which can be a little dangerous because it's not closer to June. But to me, what an unbelievable time to be in Lincoln. It should be good weather, I hope. If it rains, it rains. But it's going to be good weather. It's going to be a great crowd, great stadium. Hopefully we play really well. Baseball game, softball game, lots of action. So we decided to use this as an official visit specifically for guys kind of from fly-in states. And then the local guys that we have, they can drive over. So it's almost like some of those local guys get 2 official visits because they can come over for the game and see the guys on the visits and then come back for their official visit. So we were very strategic kind of in making that change.
So tonight kicks off the NFL draft, the first round. We do not expect to hear a Huskers name called tonight, but hopefully later on this weekend we will hear a couple of Huskers names. But there's also a potential to get signed as an undrafted free agent. And so Coach Rhule was asked about the draft and what is his pitch to these NFL teams in terms of the quality of players that they're going to get from his program.
I think the best thing that can happen is I think when people in the NFL they're never going to ask me about their players' talent. They make those decisions for themselves, right? What they want to know is the football character. Is this guy going to take notes? Is he going to learn? How does he learn? What's his football character like? Meaning, will he work? Will he practice? One of the major stats for a guy if he's going to be successful in the NFL is how often he practiced in college. So I learned that. Talking to guys over the years. So I think when people come and watch us practice, they know that we're going to be physical. They know that we're going to practice. But it's not about me. It's about our guys. Like when Quentin Newsom goes to a team and he shows up to practice every day, he takes care of himself, he's professional in the building, then people will say, oh, let's go get more Nebraska guys. So just like us, I love recruiting players from programs that I know that they've been prepared well so that I know when they get here it's not a big transition. The same thing for the NFL. So all those guys are pros, and I think they'll do a nice job for whatever team gets them.
Good stuff, as always, there from the head football coach. That's our final spring football practice report. Crazy, but we'll look forward to the annual spring game coming up on Saturday. Again, a few tickets. Tickets are available, huskers.com/tickets if you want to be there on Saturday. Husker fans, check out the all-new Hy-Vee Perks program. Sign up for the totally free Hy-Vee Perks program and enjoy exclusive perks pricing on hundreds of items in-store and online. Score big savings today at Hy-Vee.com/perks. All right, coming up next, the AD, Troy Dannen, will be here in studio. Keep it here on Sports Nightly.
Triple B Feed has the products to help your cows thrive. Whether it's weekly delivery of consumption-controlled Lumix liquid mineral with protein or Sweet Pro block supplements for space feeding, while also stretching your forages up to 25% better, Triple B has you covered. Let Brian and Brad Blauhorn take some of the stress out of your beef production this year. For more information and other products, visit triplebfeed.com. Triple B Feed, helping you and your cattle.
Get ready again for some Nebraska farm facts. When there's work to be done, Nebraska soybeans are on the job in many of your everyday products. In fact, Nebraska soybeans are hard at work in Goodyear tires, Ford cars and trucks, Skechers shoes, asphalt, fuels, lubricants, name brand paints and stains, and more. Soybeans are an innovative replacement for petroleum, leading to more sustainable products all over the world. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
The
Jeep Celebration event is going on right now at Woodhouse Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Sioux City. Shop and save on top models like the 2024 Jeep Compass Limited and lease for just $379 per month with $0 down. Visit us in store or online at WoodhouseChryslerDodgeJeepRam.com. Serving Siouxland since 2013. This is Woodhouse. 42 months, 10,000 miles per year with approved credit. Tax title license extra. First payment and $179 doc fee to signing. Stock number DS240308. Offer expires 4/30/24. See dealer for details.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Not much can be counted on these days, especially getting timely rains. However, having a TNL irrigation system gives you water on demand. This is an insurance policy you pay for once and cash in time and time again. Perfect for all irrigators, TNL irrigation systems don't require complicated, expensive, and dangerous high-voltage electricity. They're driven continuously forward by hydrostatic drives. Take some uncertainty out of farming with an intuitive hydrostatic-powered TNL system. Visit TLIRR.com to learn more. TNL, like no other.
Noddle Companies is proud to support Husker Athletics. As a leader in commercial real estate, we create thriving communities. Discover what's new in the Builders District in North Downtown, Sunny's at Exarban, and Row House Townhomes on Leavenworth. Noddle Companies is adding Omaha's first hybrid timber building to the skyline. Soon to follow is Builders Green Park, surrounded by mouth-watering food, exciting retail, and a hub of thriving businesses. Noddle Companies, building a better Nebraska. For more information, check us out on Facebook and Instagram. Go Huskers!
For farmers, productivity isn't an option, it's everything. And at Valley, we feel the same, delivering game-changing technology and irrigation solutions that advance agricultural productivity, with the results to prove it. From our leading irrigation technology to expert advice, you can always rely on Valley to bring out the best in your farm. At Valley, productivity isn't an option, it's everything. Visit your local Valley dealer or valleyirrigation.com today.
It's time for some Nebraska farm facts. Want to know a fast way to rev up our Nebraska economy while helping the planet? It's right in your tank. When you fill up with clean soy-based biodiesel, you're increasing Nebraska biodiesel production while reducing greenhouse gases by up to 74%. So look for biodiesel where you fill up. It benefits our air, our economy, and our farmers. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
Husker fans, springtime in Sarpy County means sports and outdoor activities. Catch an Omaha Storm Chasers baseball game or a Union Omaha Pro soccer match at Werner Park. Visit Fontenelle Forest, where you can enjoy tree rush adventures or hike and bike on one of the many trails. Play a round of golf or experience great fishing. Relax, refresh, and rediscover yourself with a springtime trip. Plan your adventure at GoSarpy.com.
Hi, this is Husker National Champion and Super Bowl champ Tony Veland. Throughout my football career, chiropractic care helped my athletic performance on the field and kept me in the game. Today, regular chiropractic care keeps me healthy and active to do the things I love. Chiropractic is safe and effective for all ages. Make chiropractic your first choice to reduce pain, improve your mobility, and feel better naturally. It works for me, and it can work for you too. Learn more at nebraskachiropractic.org. Stay active with chiropractic.
Welcome back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, which is sponsored by Acres, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres, solutions for every field. As we welcome you back to Sports Nightly, I'm Jessica Coody. It's been 37 days since Troy Dannen was named as the athletic director here at Nebraska, and what a crazy 37 days it's been for him, and we're excited, thrilled to have you here in studio to give us an update. But how has the 37 days been?
It doesn't feel a day over 35. No, I think every transition's crazy. Maybe this one's been particularly crazy because it's not like I'd done a lot of research and weeks leading up to a normal search. This happened in really a matter of days, and just boom, it changed. 1 week I heard Trev's announcement. The next week I'm sitting here in Lincoln. So there's been a lot of personal adaptation as long as the professional over the last month and a half. But I would say this: when I say everything is great, the floor is higher than I thought it was. The ceiling is even higher than I thought it was, which to me is the greatest indication of as good as things are. There's a lot of potential for them to even get better. I'm just so optimistic and enthusiastic right now.
Part of what you've done over the last month or so is we've really gotten to have conversations and get to know the coaching staff here. How much have you enjoyed those conversations and getting to know those coaches here?
There's not much science to this job, but I've always believed the science is, we are servant leaders to the coaches. Our job is to put them in a position to succeed. So my first step has always been meet with all the coaches, get their assessment of the department, both what needs to be done and maybe most importantly, what doesn't need to be done, what's untouchable. I knew we had really good coaches, but holy cow, do we have good coaches. I mean, a lot of people have been in the game a long time. The stuff that they say we need, it's not like any place else I've ever been. They're not talking about we need money to do this and we need facilities to do that. They're really well equipped from a financial resource standpoint, from a facility standpoint. And it's little stuff around the edges, which, tells you how close things really are. But I love the coaches. And I think I can count them as advisors as much as peers inside the department.
A big reason why that coaching staff here at Nebraska today, some big news announced as Nebraska coming in at number 7 in the Directors' Cup standings for the fall and winter sports. And just to note, Nebraska hasn't finished in the top 10 since 2000, the top 20 since 2010. How indicative is that of the momentum that is going on here in Lincoln?
Well, it's huge. And, for those who don't know what the Directors' Cup is, it's a measure of really the department's success across the board, not just getting into the postseason, but advancing. And so you can get in the postseason and maybe you get to the top 20, but it shows that we're not just getting in, but we're advancing. And I think as you put that number together with the coaches I've met and where they are with their programs and the goals and expectations, excellence here, to get to excellent, you have to expect to get to excellent. You have to believe you can get there. And I think that belief and that expectation is present throughout the department. So maybe it's not a surprise. I think the real upside for us is if you ask all of our coaches about how the season ended for them, every one of them would tell you it could have ended later. There was a chance to go further, and they believed that they could go further. And when you're at number 7 and there's a chance that you could have gone even further, it tells you what's possible here and what we can believe. The fact that I think we've maybe averaged in the upper 20s, we were maybe in the 40s last year. This is a massive move, but this is not a move that's going to be made in isolation. This is where we belong, and I think where we can stay.
Love that. Well, one of the first questions you got, I'm sure one of the most frequent questions that you continue to get is an update on the stadium renovations and where you stand on that. Can you give us an update on that and maybe other facilities projects you're looking at right now?
Yeah, I think looking at everything as a whole, priority number 1 has to be completion of the track. The track was moved as a part of the Go Big project, and when you move facilities to build new ones, part of that new construction is replacement and repair of the old one. And so we've got about a $9 million project left to finish track, which needs to get done. That will go out to bid soon. We do need some work at the baseball, softball complex. Our facilities are to die for here. I knew there was a gap in facilities. I knew Nebraska had great facilities. I didn't know how good and how broad that strength was. But we haven't touched baseball, softball in really since Haymarket opened 25 years ago. And so the idea of pitching labs and other things that go along with recruiting and baseball and softball success today, we've got to get caught up there. So this summer we'll bring some architects in and try to figure out exactly what we can do over there, and working with NEBCO and the partnership we have at Haymarket, figuring out what's possible there to make sure our baseball, softball has a chance to be the program in the upper Midwest in both baseball and softball. And then obviously the stadium, I would say the stadium is on the same trajectory it was had there been no change in leadership right now in athletics. The original plan, I think, was in June, we might go back to the board with something based on the ability to fundraise. I'm really still doing a little bit of getting my arms wrapped around it. And I've said this publicly, there are some very obvious things, and it's not necessarily just the south end zone. We've got to get chairbacks east and west. We've got to do some concessions work. We've got to get some Wi-Fi done. And part of the reason, I hope we have expand our offerings from a concession standpoint. I hope we go cashless, and we need a good Wi-Fi system to do that. I need our seats where, we have $40 million of donor donations each year that back their seat purchases in the stadium. It's next to the conference television revenue. It's our number one source of revenue. We've got to make sure that we take care of those seats that have a purchase price or basically a seat license behind them, get the amenities up to incentivize people to want to continue to do that. I've told Matt winning 10 games wouldn't hurt either, but you know, part of it is we've got to get the experience better. We've got some ADA things to do. How this thing phases together and where we ultimately end up, I don't think we're all there yet, but there's obviously work that needs to be done. I've got a stadium committee that I think's been meeting for two and a half, 3 years. Has done a lot of great work to get us to this point. I'm going to meet with them again next week and just try to figure out what the lay of the land here, because things have changed from the time the stadium project was conceived. Now we're talking about revenue sharing and antitrust that wasn't on the docket, and some other funding, obligations and priorities down the line. So how do we get all of this done? Because there's a lot to do, but in order for us to maintain that number 7, right, in order for us to be as successful as everybody expects and wants us to be, we kind of have to get everything done, not just piece by piece.
So I did want to go back to baseball, softball, and over the weekend, alcohol sales were implemented out at Haymarket Park. We talked to President Chris Gbayor about that a little bit last night on the program, but can you give us your perspective on that and getting that implemented and how it went, and it potentially could help maybe fund some of those upgrades out at Haymarket?
Yeah, and I think that's maybe the beauty of when you have a partnership with a non-university owned facility. The idea of how can everybody benefit by things that you can add that maybe weren't contemplated when the partnership was born. So alcohol sales. Can that park is a gem. The facility is just spectacular. It's right across a bridge for us. I mean, it's a great place to win. And facilities are really important. But again, it's 25 years old. We need to make sure it's a facility that is a great home field advantage for both softball and baseball. I talk about some of those projects, those capital projects, but there are other things just to make the game experience more comfortable and pleasant for the fans. Alcohol sales is one of them. And, I say alcohol sales are no longer a morality judgment. Alcohol sales are basically a way of life. I've been an athletic director 15 years. If you'd have told me that we were going to partner with casinos and that we were going to have college sports betting and we'd have commercials during our games about college sports betting, let alone alcohol sales, a lot's changed. And, part of what we have to keep our eye on is what lies around the corner and how do we not just keep up with the Joneses, but I'd like the Joneses to try to keep up with us.
Couple of news items regarding the Go Big project, one of those being who it's named after, Tom Osborne. Is there anybody more fitting for that project to be named after?
No, the first call I had when I walked into the athletic director's office was to call Coach Osborne. He didn't answer because foreign phone number. And but 5 minutes later, after I left the message, my phone rang and it's Tom Osborne's calling me. Because I just the reverence that I hold the man in for never having been here and maybe shook his hand one time in the past. To know that he's still present, still has the involvement and the level of support for the program that he does is pretty remarkable. And I've said, this is the best facility in the country of its kind that we're about to open, and his name should be on the best. And so it's nice to be able to do that at a place like this and in a facility like that.
We've seen some videos come out both internally and then the Bussin' with the Boys, and it is spectacular, that building over there. When do you expect move-ins and all that dates, all that stuff to start happening? Well,
I know it's behind schedule, if you will, from what everybody hoped it would be. If we find a construction project that runs ahead of schedule, let me know. I think maybe as early as next week, football offices will be able to start to transition football staff into their new offices on the 3rd floor of that building. When the school year is over, which is coming up, we'll be able to start moving our academic support into that on the 2nd floor. So, hopefully by the end of May, we've completed much of the transition, and then we can go through the growing pains of moving into a new house and figuring out the I's and the T's that need to be dotted and crossed. But then there's a whole wave of movement then to come in behind in those facilities that they're vacating, from our development staff to even the studio we're talking here in here now. I think we anticipate maybe moving into the current football office space. So there's a lot of work to be done over the summer, but the first dominoes, I think, are happening next week.
One other thing I wanted to chat with you about, you had mentioned in your press conference and a couple other times just the importance of the partnership with 1890 and the NIL opportunities there. You've got some great gear that you've been sporting as well. How has that gone for you, just getting to know those guys over there and just building that relationship over there and the things that they are doing?
Well, I think we should not underestimate the commitment that 1890 is making to our department and to our student athletes. And, some people do and some people don't like the concept. Alums hate the concept, right, because they never got a benefit from it. But this is the way of the world, and really without them, I couldn't tell you how far behind we might be right now. Part of the responsibility we have, and I've talked to my staff a lot, is how can we help them? We have a lot of fundraisers here. How can we help them raise money? How can we make sure that when people ask us, I want to support Husker athletics, how do I do it? Or at the top of that list is support 1890 because, everybody we build facilities and built facilities over the years for primarily recruitment and retention. It's no different than building a new engineering building on campus. It's to get the best and the brightest engineering students to come here. That's why we build facilities. But now there's another reason. It's not just the degree that we can sell. It's not just the facilities we can sell, but the ability to compensate them through NIL. And so it's an important part of the world. And as we look around the corner, we talked about it earlier, it's an important part of what lies around the corner. So they have led us. And now it's, I think the department's catching up and helping them. I want this to be the best collective in the country. And the best isn't just how much money they raise. The best is how do we empower our student athletes? Do we live up to our pledges? Do we honor what we say we're going to do? And do they feel, our athletes feel that they're being taken care of? And the answer with 1890 is yes to all of those.
You made an announcement this week, got a new addition to the staff in Haven Fields. He's going to be the deputy AD and chief operating officer, is also working with football. Tell us about him and what he's bringing to the department.
Yeah, so Haven, believe it or not, I'd hired him the 1st of January at Washington. He was the deputy AD at Ball State, but going back in his past, played football at Auburn, was a linebacker at Auburn. Went on, worked at Illinois in fundraising. He's got an external development background. But I hired him at Washington to really oversee the external units and be the point person day-to-day with football. Every sport has a sport administrator. Every sport in every department does. But I need someone who's got their eyes and ears on football 24/7 and their support mat 24/7, even when I'm not. And that's Haven. Fortunately enough, when I left, I said, hey, Haven, I'm sorry, but I hope down the line at some point I've got a shot to bring you if you want to come. And sure enough, that opportunity came, and he's here, and he's going to be awesome because he's very externally minded. We have to have a lot of our future efforts focused externally. We do such a great job internally. There's not much you can say we should be doing differently. But I will tell you, we need to raise more money. We need to do a better job on the development side, and he'll oversee development as well. So good to have Haven here. And then, you're not even prepared for this, but next week we'll announce I'm bringing a CFO in. And again, it's somebody that I hired at Washington, but who came from Texas A&M. So he understands the world of $200 million budgets. He understands the world in which we're living and trying to compete for national championships in football. In the SEC and the Big Ten, it's a different animal than every place else. And so he'll be joining us next week, May 1st, by the name of Seth Dorsey. And so getting those two guys, key cogs, my external guy, somebody that understands how the house has to be run internally, understands not just what's happening at Nebraska versus maybe the Big Ten, but understands what's happening in the SEC as well. Again, we are no better. Head coaches are no better than their assistant coaches, but the department's no better than the people that work in it. And our teams will rest basically at our lowest, weakest link. So hiring, I think, great people. We got to number 7, not just because of what was happening on the field, but we have 355 people in the department. They've done a great job of elevating this place to where the floor in which we can settle is the 7th best department overall in the United States right now. So we want to keep that momentum going.
We've just covered a lot of different topics, a lot of things that you've been able to accomplish here in the 37 days. How do you go about what you're doing day to day and how you manage what you need to get accomplished from day to day?
Well, it's a lot. I probably have never had more fun in my life in this job than I have in the last 6 weeks, 5.5 weeks, 37 days, whatever it is. Primarily because, one, everybody around here loves this place. I don't think I've found anybody who thinks they have a job. There's a lot of people who've been here, have never left here. Sometimes that's a disadvantage. Here it's a great advantage because the passion internal to the department is no different than the passion I've seen outside of the department. And I knew what it was, but I didn't until I got here. So everybody wants the same thing, from campus to the institutional, the university leadership, to the Board of Regents. Everybody that had a chance. We're all in great alignment. We all want the same thing. And sometimes everybody thinks there's a little bit of a different road to get there. And part of my job is to show people a common path maybe that we can all use to get there. But the thing I'm probably walking away from the first 5 weeks happiest about is knowing how good the alignment is, how enthusiastic and passionate everybody is, but in a realistic and pragmatic way. Now, we haven't lost a football game yet, right? And in athletics, I get people that email me every day to complain that the sun came up in the east today. So people aren't always going to be happy, but there's a lot of enthusiasm and there's a lot of motivation and drive. I will tell you the one thing about Matt that I didn't know, and you don't know this about a coach till you get here, but he cares as much about what's going on in the other sports as anybody in the department. And when your football coach does that, the camaraderie, the collaborativeness that you need to have in your department has a chance to thrive. And so there's a lot of support across sports with one another. The coaches talk and interact a lot. You don't see that a lot at this level. So there's just so many good things, maybe that for me, being at my fourth school in my career, that you don't always see, but explains why expectations are where they are, explains why we've been, the trajectory of our sports competitively has been where it's at. And I think the last piece is to shout out maybe two people. One is Keith Zimmer, who has been here. I think he said I'm his 9th athletic director, so he's been here a while. And he oversees basically the student leadership, the student experience, everything from internships to leadership opportunities, all the things that impact student life. And then Dennis LeBlanc, who served as interim athletic director, but has been here 40 years on the academic side of the house. Academics and the student experience part have been a hallmark outside of this university. Those of us around the country who were not here understood Nebraska is about how it treats its athletes. And to get here and see how it works. And I've met with several of the teams. I've talked to a lot of the athletes one-on-one. Of all things, 7th in the country at this and national championships that, the thing that we all have to be proudest of is how we are taking care of our athletes here. It is really remarkable. It doesn't happen every place. In fact, I'm not sure it happens any place. But we do a great job, and those two men that have been leading for so long, just remarkable to get to work alongside them.
They're incredible folks. First spring game coming up here in Lincoln. How excited are you?
I'm excited because there are going to be 60,000 people in that stadium, and there's a lot of people that would die and kill to have 60,000 people for their homecoming game. As a promoter, I want to see how the stadium moves. I want to see how it ebbs and flows. I want to see how people navigate the place. I want to see where our liabilities are. So there's all that because it's my first game, to see. But I'm as anxious as everybody else. We've got young quarterbacks, right? I want to see what's happening because to be around the program, be at practice some. I see a lot of great things. I know who Coach is. His coaching staff, the support staff he's got. Really, really good. I think we should all be excited about that. But to see how it all starts to come together in the field, the thing I always caution on spring games for me is two things. One, I just don't want anybody hurt. And number two, everybody knows the offense and everybody knows the defense. So it's not like we're playing against each other, and so that sometimes poses a unique challenge. But it looks like the weather's going to break. We should have a good day. I'm excited to see this next iteration and this next version of Husker football. Matt's leading us in a great direction, in a great place. I've been really impressed being around him, but everybody cares about what happens on the field. And, people tend to judge coaches based on whether we win or lose. I will tell you, we will all judge Matt in that way too, but I'm also judging him on what happens before we get to the field. And we've got the right guy. We've got the right staff. So I'm looking forward to Saturday.
So you're as convinced as you were 6 weeks ago that he's the best coach in college football? I've
said this, he's always made big moves in week 1 to week 2, and he's done it and had great success at places who maybe struggled before he walked in the door and maybe have struggled since he left the place, which tells you a little bit about him. I said this when I got hired. I think it will be revealed to everybody that we've got one of the best coaches, if not the best coach in college football, sitting right here inside our offices in Lincoln.
Oh, thank you so much for your time. Have fun, enjoy it, because it should be a great atmosphere. And like you said, over 60,000. They're all excited for this team, I think.
Yeah, I'm having the time of my life. I'm going to get to visit a lot of suite holders for a spring football game that maybe I've never gotten to do before. But I look forward to the game. Look forward to continuing to meet Husker fans. I've posed for more selfies than I have in my life since I got here. But it just tells people care. And I said this at the beginning. The give a darn factor is so high, and never underestimate how important that is, especially when times are tough and people need to get picked up off their backs a little bit. That give a darn factor is what drives everyone.
Thank you so much for being here with us on Sports Nightly.
Thanks so much.
And that is Troy Dannen, the Director of Athletics here at Nebraska. We got to step aside for a break here on Sports Nightly. Sarpy County, where great food, drink, shopping, concerts, and fun await you. Stay, play, and plan your getaway at GoSarpy.com.
Experience the difference and save more when you shop at one of our 3 convenient Woodhouse Ford locations. And right now, it's more affordable than ever to get behind the wheel of a new vehicle when you visit a Woodhouse Ford dealership. With special financing options featuring low APR rates and flexible terms, or lease deals with competitive monthly payments and minimal upfront costs. Owning a Ford from Woodhouse has never been easier.
Don't miss out on limited-time appliance deals during the closeout event at Lowe's. Get up to 35% off select major appliances. Plus, save an extra $100 when you spend $999 or more on all major appliances. Hurry, these deals are too good to last long. Shop in-store or online today, because Lowe's knows home improvement. Valid 1/4 through 1/24. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. See Lowes.com for details.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Farming today is a combination of hard work, innovation, and partnerships to help keep us moving forward. Sapp Brothers Petroleum has provided us with fuel, propane, and lubricants on the farm for many years.
For over 52 years, Sapp Brothers has been a reliable partner to thousands of farmers across our great state. We work hard to make sure our customers have the most reliable supply, provided in the safest manner and at the most competitive price. Trust Sapp Brothers Petroleum to protect your equipment and keep your farm fueled. Sapp Brothers is proud to be an official partner of Huskers Athletics and to serve Nebraska farmers and Husker fans across America's heartland.
Husker fans, springtime in Sarpy County means sports and outdoor activities. Catch an Omaha Storm Chasers baseball game or a Union Omaha Pro soccer match at Werner Park. Visit Fontenelle Forest, where you can enjoy tree rush adventures or hike and bike on one of the many trails. Play a round of golf or experience great fishing. Relax, refresh, and rediscover yourself with a springtime trip. Plan your adventure at GoSarpy.com.
It's time for another round of Nebraska Farm Facts. If there's one thing Nebraska's known for, it's our beef. And Nebraska soybeans feed a lot of them, and even more pigs and chickens. Farmers and ranchers raise livestock and poultry to provide nutritious, affordable protein for all ages to help build muscle and maintain energy for a healthy lifestyle. Keep that in mind as you prepare all that tasty meat on your tailgate grill. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
Hi, this is Husker National Champion and Super Bowl champ Tony Veland. Throughout my football career, chiropractic care helped my athletic performance on the field and kept me in the game. Today, regular chiropractic care keeps me healthy and active to do the things I love. Chiropractic is safe and effective for all ages. Make chiropractic your first choice to reduce pain, improve your mobility, and feel better naturally. It works for me, and it can work for you too. Learn more at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Stay active with chiropractic.
Knottle Companies is proud to support Husker Athletics. As a leader in commercial real estate, we create thriving communities. Discover what's new in the Builders District in North Downtown, Sunnyside Exarban, and row house townhomes on Leavenworth. Knottle Companies is adding Omaha's first hybrid timber building to the skyline. Soon to follow is Builders Green Park, surrounded by mouth-watering food, exciting retail, and a hub of thriving businesses. Knottle Companies, building a better Nebraska. For more information, check us out on Facebook and Instagram. Go Huskers!
Discover the entire lineup of luxurious sedans and SUVs at Genesis of Southwest Omaha, like the powerful and thrilling Genesis G70. Plus, receive a low APR of 2.9% for 48 months on the 2024 Genesis GV80. Start your car buying journey online at southwestomahagenesis.com today. With approved credit, tax, title, license extra. Repayment of $22.09 a month for 48 months for $1,000 finance for well-qualified buyers. No down payment required. Offer expires May 1st, 2024. See dealer for details.
If problem gambling is burning up your money, there is a way out. Help is free and confidential for Nebraskans and their families. There's no judgment, just help. Visit lifeafterbet.com. Well, a couple of transfer portal news items that came out today, not regarding Husker athletics, but Nebraska ties. So Chucky Hepburn is committed to Louisville. And we talked about this a couple nights ago, but official a couple days ago, Frankie Fiddler announced that he is headed to Michigan State. So there you go. Hey, Cole, this was asked in the chat earlier, but I guess a version of this question. So I'm going to give you guys a chance to think about this through the break. But
sure.
NFL draft tonight. If you could go back and draft just one Husker, number one overall, which Husker would you pick? Any time, any decade, who would you pick of any Husker? Okay? Think about it. I want your answer on the other side of the break.
Okay.
All right, and you can text us in your thoughts if you have a pick. Any Husker, number one overall pick for you guys. Okay, and that's on our Woodhouse Auto Family hotline, 402-413-2400. Woodhouse Auto Family is your trusted auto partner with 20 brands and 20 convenient sales and service locations. We're making car buying on your terms. Visit us online at woodhouse.com. We're back to wrap up hour number one coming up.
Get ready again for some Nebraska farm facts. When there's work to be done, Nebraska soybeans are on the job in many of your everyday products. In fact, Nebraska soybeans are hard at work in Goodyear tires, Ford cars and trucks, Skechers shoes, asphalt, fuels, lubricants, name brand paints and stains, and more. Soybeans are an innovative replacement for petroleum, leading to more sustainable products all over the world. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
Get ready to rule the field and revolutionize your farming game with Valley, the game changer in irrigation and ag tech solutions. With time and labor-saving measures, ground truthing results, and effective input reduction, Valley provides the perfect game plan so you stay ahead of what's in the field. From the best in irrigation and cutting-edge ag tech solutions to personalized support, Valley is your winning team. Visit your local Valley dealer or valleyirrigation.com today.
Husker fans, springtime in Sarpy County means sports and outdoor activities. Catch an Omaha Storm Chasers baseball game or a Union Omaha Pro soccer match at Werner Park. Visit Fontenelle Forest, where you can enjoy tree rush adventures or hike and bike on one of the many trails. Play a round of golf or experience great fishing. Relax, refresh, and rediscover yourself with a springtime trip. Plan your adventure at GoSarpy.com.
Things that impair you come in many different shapes and sizes. Some are the shape of beer and liquor bottles. Others look like cigarettes but aren't cigarettes at all. These are the things we know impair us, the things our parents warned us about. What we're not always aware of is our new prescription or the over-the-counter medicine we picked up just for allergies or a bad cold. See, it doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If you are impaired, driving is deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Hey Huskers, it's a new day in Nebraska. Manzer Equipment, Mertz Farm Equipment, and West Point Implement of Columbus have teamed up as True Ag and Turf. Coach Rhule is bringing innovation and high-performance standards to Husker football, and True Ag is doing the same to your farm with game-changing Fendt equipment. As Big Red establishes power on the field, True Ag and Turf does the same in the field by welcoming Fendt to Nebraska.
For generations, hardworking people have relied on Ford F-Series trucks, making them America's best-selling trucks 47 years straight. Introducing the new 2024 Ford F-150 and Ford Super Duty, the 2024 North American Truck of the Year. This is the next generation of built Ford tough.
Get 1.9% financing for 72 months plus $1,000 bonus cash on a brand new 2023 F-150 only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
Welcome back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, which is sponsored by Acres, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres, solutions for every field. Final segment here of Sports Nightly on our hour number 1. Still got lots to come in hour number 2, but before the break, I posed the question in honor of the NFL draft tonight. This was a question that was asked earlier in the chat version, but so I can't take full credit for it, but if you were drafting any Husker anytime, number 1, just one pick, who would be your number 1 overall pick? Any Husker of all time? Cole, I asked you and David for your picks.
Yes, our great student intern, David, went with Ndamukong Suh. That's a solid pick. I would have gone with that pick if he didn't steal it. That's a great player. And then my pick was Ahman Green, legendary running back here. Played, I think, 12 years. I don't know if they were all with the Packers, but
I like it.
Yep.
So Shane that called in last night and dropped the knowledge on us that Damon Benning was a foodie and was on the Food Network. He said he would have liked to have seen how Brooke Behringer would have done in the NFL, but he'd pick Suh first. And then Husker and Hanover said Suh for sure. And then Shane said Rich Glover second. And Ethan, 4 Hours to Lincoln, says Ahman Green. He agrees with you, Cole.
There we go.
And then Crypto King said Roger Craig. I have got a fun tie to mine. I'm going to go with Will Shields. 14 seasons in the NFL, never missed a game, had 223 starts, Hall of Famer, All-Pro. But I am so excited because Will's going to be here this weekend, and he's doing some stuff with teammates, with Tom Osborne, and so I'm going to get a chance to interview him tomorrow. So we're going to have a lengthy conversation, hopefully, unless the weather derails everything. But we are scheduled to sit down and have a long conversation with Will Shields. Here's a fun fact for you, Cole. So Will is from Lawton, Oklahoma, and I am from Chattanooga, Oklahoma. Chattanooga is 20 miles southwest of Lawton, and we're from the same county in Oklahoma.
That's
but
pretty impressive.
He was a huge deal, obviously, in my neck of the woods. We're growing up, and so I'm excited to get to chat with him and talk all things teammates and all that great stuff. But it's going to be a fun celebration all around because they're going to be honoring Tom Osborne and the teammates organization. But how about that?
That's exciting. Also, how about that you can name, we heard like 8 different answers for that. Who would you want as the number 1 draft pick? That kind of goes to show the quality of players we have at Nebraska.
Here's another one. Art in Los Angeles, number 1 Husker of all time. Since I played linebacker in high school, it would have been Barrett Ruud. So there's another name for you, another different name.
Another good pick, yeah.
So, all right. I think that's, I think that's all we got. If we can keep passing those along as we get them throughout the show, if you guys want to be a part. That was fun.
That was fun.
All right. Well, we've got much more to come here in hour number 2. We're going to hear from Jeremiah Sirles. We're going to talk defense and preview the spring game coming up. We're going to hear from Mikai Gbayor, one of the linebackers. So still plenty to come. Keep it right here on Sports Nightly. And Husker fans, check out the all-new Hy-Vee Perks program. Sign up for the totally free Hy-Vee Perks program and enjoy exclusive perks pricing on hundreds of items in-store and online. Score big savings today at Hy-Vee.com/perks. And how in the world could I have forgotten Cole's Joke of the Week, also coming up here in hour number 2. So he's getting ready for that. Big segment, big hour coming up. Keep it here on Sports Nightly on this Thursday night edition.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
For farmers, productivity isn't an option, it's everything. And at Valley, we feel the same, delivering game-changing technology and irrigation solutions that advance agricultural productivity, with the results to prove it. From our leading irrigation technology to expert advice, you can always rely on Valley to bring out the best in your farm. At Valley, productivity isn't an option, it's everything. Visit your local Valley dealer or valleyirrigation.com today.
Husker fans, springtime in Sarpy County means sports and outdoor activities. Catch an Omaha Storm Chasers baseball game or a Union Omaha Pro soccer match at Werner Park. Visit Fontenelle Forest, where you can enjoy tree rush adventures or hike and bike on one of the many trails. Play a round of golf or experience great fishing. Relax, refresh, and rediscover yourself with a springtime trip. Plan your adventure at GoSarpy.com.
Hey Huskers, it's a new day in Nebraska. Manzer Equipment, Mertz Farm Equipment, and West Point Implement of Columbus have teamed up as True Ag and Turf. Coach Rhule is bringing innovation and high-performance standards to Husker football, and True Ag is doing the same to your farm with game-changing Fendt equipment. As Big Red establishes power on the field, True Ag and Turf does the same in the field by welcoming Fendt to Nebraska.
Other irrigation companies are finally discovering what T&L Irrigation is known for decades. Continuous movement is the best way to irrigate. While they'll have you pay for complicated upgrades to get steady, even water application with their high-voltage electric systems, all T&L Irrigation pivots and linears are propelled safely and smoothly by powerful hydrostatic drive. Continuous movement isn't new. It's the T&L standard. Don't get talked into a reinvented wheel. Pick the proven original. Call your T&L Irrigation dealer today or visit TLIRR.com. T&L, like no other.
Good evening. I'm David Swotek, and our sports ticker is brought to you by the 1890 Initiative. During a press conference today, Nebraska football head coach Matt Rhule discussed what he is looking forward to with the Saturday's annual Red-White Spring Game to show the fans what he has in store for next season.
You know, there's two teams. We'll probably, Mitch, have to put the offensive line in like gray like we did last year so they can rotate through. It'll come down to depth, receivers, if we have enough guys at receiver. A lot of guys, have been limited, like Mikai and them. They can't get hit. They practice for us. But I'm pretty sure we'll be able to have two teams. And what am I looking for? I'm looking for a high standard of football. Like it can't be like last year where, you play well for a while, and then you start fumbling the ball around. I don't care if you're a 2 or 3, whoever. Like the standard better be high. So if it's ugly, then we didn't accomplish what we wanted to accomplish this spring, right? So I'm expecting us to play really good football, and I look at this. A lot of people look at this like it's like a throwaway, like it's a celebration. I don't. I look at this like it's football, and I expect us to play good football and watch you guys compete.
Kickoff for the spring game is set for 11 a.m. with gates opening at 9:30 a.m. Coverage on the Huskers radio network begins at 9 a.m. as well. Coming up later in the show, we'll hear more from head coach Matt Rhule. Nebraska track and field earned some awards this week. Shot put thrower Axelina Johansson earned the Big Ten Women's Field Athlete of the Week. Johansson threw the Olympic standard on her birthday last Saturday with a throw of 18.82 meters. That was the longest throw at the Michael Johnson Invitational by over 2 meters. With this throw, she is standing at the second furthest throw in the NCAA and first in the Big Ten. Finally, some more NBA playoff action happening tonight. The Cleveland Cavaliers are at the Kia Center facing off against the Orlando Magic for Game 3 of the series. The Cavaliers are taking charge with 2 victories heading into this game, but Orlando is taking charge tonight, 61-45 Orlando Magic at the half. The Philadelphia 76ers are hosting the New York Knicks for Game 3 of their series. The Knicks are looking strong with 2 victories under their belts, and they have the slight lead of 18-15 with 4 minutes and 34 seconds left in the first quarter. And Game 3 between the Denver Nuggets and Los Angeles Lakers will be in swing later tonight. Denver leads the series 2-0 with no stopping in sight. Tip-off is set for 9 p.m. Our sports ticker is sponsored by the 1890 Initiative. Do you want to support Husker student athletes through name, image, and likeness? If so, visit 1890nebraska.com. Coming up next is Hour 2 of Sports Nightly, right here on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who remind you to buckle up and put the phone down.
Here comes the 3-2 pitch. Lifted to right, and drifting over near the line is Williams, and looking up, and it is gone. Wind blows it right out of here. It's a grand slam for Will Walsh. It's 5-0 Big Red.
To the wall, reaches back, but it's gone! A 2-run home run for Ava Bradwell. A moonshot that just cleared the wall and left. And the Huskers take a 3-1 lead in the second.
The hitter now, the 1-0 pitch. Swings and lines one. Diving grab by Dylan Carey deep in the hole. Holy cow, what a play from DC.
The pitch from Chambers. Cope golfs one to center and deep. Going back Delgadillo, and it's gone! 3-run home run, Emerson Cope. Make it 5-2 Nebraska.
Here is your host, Jessica Coody, on the Huskers Radio Network.
Welcome back. Hour number 2 of Sports Nightly here on this Thursday night edition. And got a fun hour coming up for you. We are awaiting the announcement of the first pick of the NFL draft. The commissioner just has made it out onto the stage, so we will see who goes number 1 overall. And speaking of that, we had a question that we posed at the end of last hour. Which Husker would you select number 1 overall anytime? And we had a couple more responses to that on our text line. Jim in Columbus said Amon Green and Tom Ratham. And this, another text here, this is Big Mike, and I would draft Levante David number 1 overall. So a couple other new names to add to that list, Cole, for you. We appreciate the text coming in on our text line that's brought to you by Woodhouse Auto Family. Woodhouse Auto Family is your trusted auto partner with 20 brands and 20 convenient sales and service locations. We're making car buying on your term. Visit us online at woodhouse.com. Eminem, is that Eminem here to announce the first pick? Wow. Awesome. Okay, well, we will have an update on all of that coming up, but let's talk some Husker football, some Husker spring game action. Jeremiah Sirles, we recorded another episode of the Sideline Slice recently. We previewed the defense, and we also talked about the things we're looking for coming up this Saturday. So here is my conversation with Jeremiah Sirles, the big dog. So I want to dive into all the things that we will be looking for in the spring game, but our last pod, we spent the entire time talking about the offense and breaking down the offense, and we promised we'd chat a little bit about the defense. So let's go position by position there, and like we did with the offense, and dive into what we've seen and our big takeaways that we so far that we've seen throughout spring. And we'll save, I know what you will say, save the best for last, so we'll save the defensive line for last. But let's start with the linebackers, because I feel like even though there's some depth there, there's still questions because the exit of Nick Henrich and Luke Reimer. And so I've got a name I've heard a ton is John Bullock, that he's really stepped into that role. In fact, I spoke with Nick Henrich one of the scrimmage days, and he said, Johnny B, he is ready for it. He is ready for this moment. So it seems like John Bullock is really stepping into that leadership role for that room this year.
Yeah, and he showed great flashes last year with, Reimer missing some time, Henrich missing some time. He was right there in that mix of being a guy last year, and so I'm excited for him to take that next step. And your linebacker has to be the quarterback of your defense, right? You got to get the call in, you got to get everyone lined up, you got to be able to see things and run. And in this defense with Tony White's scheme, you're going to be asked to do a lot. Like moving, dropping into coverage, blitzing off the edge, blitzing in the A-gap. Like, you have to be an extremely intelligent individual, not just a good player. And I love that Bullock has stepped right into that role, watching Reimer and watching Nick and seeing how they operated, not just on the football field, but in the meeting room, in the weight room, just how they continue to be leaders on that team. And for him to step right into that in a seamless transition, I think is going to bode really well. Another guy I'm excited is Javon Wright. He's another guy that I think is going to be kind of in that hybrid linebacker role. When he's in there, he had some flash plays last year too, but he's another guy that's long, can run, got good speed on the edges. He's another guy in that linebacker hybrid that I'm excited to watch. Yeah, Buddha is a name that we've heard a lot. He's put on a lot of weight. But one thing that I was, chatting with Nick about that it's different, and I guess, again, I didn't play football, I'm not an expert, but he said going from the defensive back role to the linebacker, inside linebacker, a lot of it was his footwork. Like he had the ability to be physical and understood the game, but it was more so footwork. So can you take us into that and how that is different from going from a defensive back to an inside linebacker? Yeah, so much of a defensive back is you have a lot of space, right? You've got space to let things happen in front of you and then react. So much of a linebacker's footwork and stuff is immediate read and react. Right, you have keys as a linebacker, and they're different on certain plays, right? First down, your key may be, hey, my key's this guard. If he sets some pass protection, then I know I set back. If he pulls, I know I have to fill this gap. If he takes an inside zone step at the nose, then I know I have this gap, right? So much is immediate reaction time and really trusting your eyes and trusting your instincts to shoot your gun and go. And, Tony White talked about that last year. Like, I want a bunch of guys that are going to shoot their gun and go play free. But you have to do it under control and with good technique. And so making that transition, everything's just going to be sped up and just be faster, right? And you have to trust yourself, because indecision as an inside linebacker is death, right? If you get caught in between, do I step here? Do I go here? How do I go? All of a sudden that 330-pound lineman's up on top of you covering it up, and the running back's hitting at full speed behind him, right? So you have to be a very decisive player. And, the spring's a good time to get queued up into that, because it's just hard on the eyes, right? Physically, you might be able to do it, but training your eyes as a linebacker is so hard to do, and it's such a gift to be able to do. And so, the fact that he's taken strides in it this far is going to bode really well for him heading into the fall. And again, there's a lot of names, and we will talk more extensively when we get into fall camp. But, at this point, it's still a work in progress to see. So it would take us
2 hours to dive into the entire defensive backs room. There's so many of them out there.
So many.
So we will see how that continues to unfold, but those are just kind of the highlights back there in the back end. Let's move up front, and the defensive line, arguably the MVP of last year, how good they were, how dominant they were. And you think about, and you and I talked about this on Sports Nightly the other night, you think about this conversation we were having a year ago at this time, and we were doubting the kind of depth that was going to be up front for this defense. And, you know, a little bit later, when Terrence Knighton came on his show during the fall, and I said, man, you got a lot of guys, and there was a point where we didn't know if you're going to have the depth. He goes, oh, yeah, I kept receipts. But, you know, the fact that he was able to bring so many true freshmen along, and then the way that Nash took it up another level, and then you add a guy, and Ty Robinson, but it just, man, it was really impressive to see where we were a year ago to where we are now, where you're saying this could arguably be the deepest position on the field.
Yeah, and I mean, to be fair, we had every right to be skeptical last year because when you're talking about names that have never played on a Saturday, I'm going to be nervous, right? Just like our quarterback room, I'm nervous, right? Harburg's the only one that's played in a game in the Big Ten. Well, that's where we were sitting at for this D-line room last year. We were looking at it going, well, there's Nash and Ty.
And Riley Van Poppel wasn't even here, so it was basically Princewill and Cam Linhart.
We're like, what are we doing here? But, like, it just speaks to Coach Knighton's ability to develop players. And as much as college coaching is about X's and O's and scheming, so much of it is about the personal development of your room. How can we get the best out of these guys? And he showed time and time again with Elijah Judy and Cam Lenhart and Van Poppel and dudes just rolling in there that you're like, I don't know who this dude is, and then being productive. Like, not out there just surviving, but being productive and making game-changing plays and getting to the quarterback and disrupting in the run. Like, those dudes played hard, and he got the most out of all those guys. And now you say, okay, all those dudes last year that were kind of thrown into the fire have a year under their belt. How much more is there? How high is their ceiling? And Terrence Knighton has proven time and time he's going to get it out of them. And so I'm really excited about this D-line group. I mean, I went to a couple practices and saw them fired up and going and blowing, and I saw it. I mean, Nash was upset that they weren't going to let him play every play, and like, that's the type of mentality you want to have of, hey, yeah, I know I'm a senior and I know I'm a vet here, but like, I want to be out there and I want to be playing. Like, that fired me up when I saw that going, because I was like, that's the kind of mentality that it's going to take every single one of these defensive linemen to have in order for us to have the success that we want to have.
We had a similar conversation when we were talking about the offense and the offensive line and some of those guys that you don't want to risk and that you don't need to go have a ton of reps here in the spring. Now you're looking at that for this defensive line, and I feel like that was a big part of Princewill and Cam, which they were already highly touted, and Terrence Knighton thought that they would be a big part anyways, but because they got so many opportunities in the spring, you know, again, same thing for the defensive line. It's got to be good to have those kinds of opportunities because you know what you got out of Nash and Ty, but let's build some even more additional depth to go along with some of that group of young players.
Yeah, spring's the ultimate development time. Ultimate development time, because you're not game planning. You're not preparing for, hey, do we have to keep their bodies fresh for Saturday? Like, it's grind central. I do not miss spring ball. Not in the smallest piece of me could you pay me to go do another spring ball, because it is tough, it is physical, and it is an absolute grind. But it's also where you make the biggest jumps as a player. Right? It's where you can really grind and push through things and go. And yeah, as an older guy, you don't need that beating on your body. You take that beating on your body 12 weeks in the fall. But when you're a young guy and you're still callousing up your body and finding out what it means to be a college football player, the spring's where you really cut your teeth. Right, you cut your teeth right there and you go. And so all those guys getting those meaningful reps, as hard as it was, as terrible as it was for them, like from a physical standpoint, it's going to pay huge dividends for this football team.
Okay, so I wanted to get your thoughts on this because last Saturday they had a scrimmage before, and probably more maybe put out there than what we'll see coming up this Saturday in the spring game. But Coach Rhule was saying how dominant the offense was, that it was the best performance in a scrimmage by offense since he's been here. They had 8, 9, 10, 12 touchdowns, I believe he said. He couldn't even count them. What do you make of that? And does it worry you at all that the defense gave up that many touchdowns?
You ever heard of a cattle prod, Jess? You know, where you just sit there and just keep poking the cow until it goes? That's essentially what that was to Matt Rhule's defense, right? That's him coming out and publicly praising it's no secret. Matt Rhule's a defensive guy. And when you come out and you just publicly praise and you publicly put on the offense like that, rightfully so, they probably did hand it to him. But that's you checking your defense and being like, you want me to talk about this like you? Go do something. Like, you go make me talk about to the public about what you guys are doing and how smothering you are and how the offense couldn't move the ball and how they're dropping passes and they were rattled. Like, that's him just being the great manipulator. Manipulator is not the right word. Being the great motivator for this team in the right way, right? Knowing when to press in on things, when to pull away from things, and understanding the heartbeat and the pulse of where your team's at and where they need to be pushed on a little bit more. So, that for me, I heard that, and I was like, oh, if I'm a defensive player, this week's going to be fun. If I'm an offensive player, I better strap up, right? Because the defense is coming, right? And that's a great way. When one side of the ball has success like that, you got to find a way to build the other side of the ball up in unique ways without just coming down on them and yelling at them. Like, there's different ways to motivate, and Matt Rhule does a great job at doing that.
He's playing chess. He's been playing chess.
Always. That dude's playing backgammon, chess, whatever you want to do, and everyone else out here is playing tic-tac-toe.
Oh, and, he also did, too, mention that they're not taking down the quarterbacks. So some of them, he was letting plays go that might have been sacks, and again, we've mentioned it, but Nash and Ty are not out there, and so arguably your two best defensive players are not on the field.
Standard doesn't change, Jessica. Standard doesn't change.
True, but I'm just saying it does, change your defense a little bit when you've got.
I know.
Okay, so let's talk spring game, and being that you're not going to put everything out there, you don't have all your players out there. What is this team, what is this coaching staff looking to accomplish during the spring game?
Yeah, so there's really a few things. One is operation, right? This is the first time you're going to have a game-like operation with more of a not controlled environment, right? A scrimmage is a controlled environment. There's no fans. There's no referees. There's no, hey, you get 3 downs, right? You're running scripted plays. Like, this is more, can these quarterbacks go out in a big-time environment with a lot more noise on the offensive side and run our offense proficiently, right? Not too many guys in the huddle, everyone getting the play called on the 40-second clock, not jumping off sides. Just pure operation is something you always want to see be clean in a spring game on that front. And then on the defensive side, you want to see, like, hey, how much can my guys do without me showing too much, right? This is a move offense, a move defense, guys running everywhere, but you don't want to show that stuff on tape. So you're putting a lot more onus on, hey, you got to win your one-on-one matchups.
Yeah.
Right? It's more of you going out and beating the guy across from you instead of me scheming a blitz open or me having the right play call. We want to just see you go out and dominate, right? So those are kind of the two things that, I'm looking for. And then the other piece is ball security, right? Ball security is something that has haunted the Huskers forever, right? As long as I can remember. Even when I played, it was something that was just like we fumbled the ball a lot. But this is something that has to be addressed, and Rhule has addressed it. But to come out, and I would love to say no turnovers, but at the same time, I'm going to say the defense needs to get better at taking the ball away, right? So it's just like double-edged sword of like, but I'm obviously going to lean towards the offensive side and say I would love to see no turnovers, no interceptions, no unforced errors on that front there. If a guy strips one out on a long run or in a pile, so be it. But, not throwing interceptions, not putting balls in the dirt on exchanges, those type of things. Like, the spring game for me, I just want a dress rehearsal of clean operation. And if we can get that, then I'm all good.
Okay, so what will you be looking for out of the quarterbacks then? Because again, here we are, we're in the middle of a quarterback battle, and we're not going to have a starter. It's going to go into fall camp. But so can somebody separate themselves during this time, or is it really it is what it is, and this is what we're looking for type of thing out of the quarterbacks?
Yeah, no one's winning the job in the spring game.
Yeah,
like I think you're going into the spring game and you're just trying to showcase the best of your ability to run the offense. And because it's hard, there's so many other factors in a game that it's hard to evaluate the quarterback in the spring game, right? Hey, are you used to working with this group? Or are you taking snaps with this center? Or have you been thrown to this receiver, right? Things just get jumbled in a spring game. It's hard to evaluate a quarterback in that front. But you can evaluate the alpha of the group of, hey, who commanded the best presence? Who had the best cadence? Who had the best pace in and out of the huddle? Like, who had that captain of the ship feeling, when we went in and when we came out of the spring game. And that's something you can tell, but it's more hard to evaluate the playing side of it than the commanding and presence part of it.
All right, who scores the first touchdown?
Ooh, I'm gonna go with Harburg. I think Harburg gets the first touchdown on a run, on a zone keep or a zone read or a scramble once they get into the red zone. I'm gonna go with Harburg.
Again, that was Jeremiah Sirles as a part of our weekly conversation, weekly during football season, but Sideline Slice presented by Valentino's Pizza, the official pizza of the Huskers. You can listen to that full episode, full conversation out now on our podcast platforms and on our YouTube channel. Well, while we were listening to that conversation, the first round pick is in, and it is indeed Caleb Williams headed to the Chicago Bears. And I know a lot of people are not a fan of, some of the antics that surround Caleb Williams. Jeremiah Sirles is one of those. Big Dog is not a fan of Caleb Williams. In fact, I think he would probably, if you asked him, he would go with Drake May first in this quarterback group. But say what you will about Lincoln Riley, but he knows how to produce quarterbacks and get them drafted. Think about this. I mean, so 3 now number 1 overall picks in the last 10 years. Baker Mayfield, Kyler Murray, Caleb Williams, and then Jalen Hurts was drafted early in the 2nd round, but look what he's doing with the Eagles. And Spencer Rattler is another name that is expected to hear his name called potentially even in the 1st round. And I have a scout friend that says he's got the best arm, one of the best arms in this quarterback class as well. So, and that's another Spencer Rattler worked with Lincoln Riley for, I think, 2-3 years. So it's impressive what Lincoln Riley, how he's able to churn out quarterbacks and get them drafted and looked at for the NFL. All right, we got to work in a break here on Sports Nightly, but we're going to hear from Mikai Gbayor coming up next of the linebackers for Nebraska defense. Contact 811 2 days before you dig to protect your underground utilities and yourself. It's free, it's easy, it's the law.
Dear roads, trails, and rivers, you ready for some SUV action? Toyota SUVs can roll their sleeves up for tight turns and twisty trails. Dress up for a night out on the town, or head to the great outdoors. Take your family adventure game to a whole new level with the roomy Highlander. Make a serious splash with the rugged, revved-up RAV4. And tow all your toys in the spacious new Sequoia. Don't forget the Trail-Tamin 4Runner and the sleek Venza Hybrid. All Toyota SUVs feature a whole suite of creature comforts to keep you and yours cozy in the cabin. Check out this legendary lineup at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers. Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, Village Point Toyota of Omaha, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, or Baxter Toyota of Lincoln.
Pizza's here.
Oh, great. I'd love some, but I'm worried about my stomach issues.
If you're worried about having diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools, it may not just be stomach issues. It could be a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Don't miss out on limited-time appliance deals during the closeout event at Lowe's. Get up to 35% off select major appliances. Plus, save an extra $100 when you spend $999 or more on all major appliances. Hurry, these deals are too good to last long. Shop in-store or online today, because Lowe's knows home improvement. Valid 1/4 through 1/24. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. See Lowe's.com for details.
As a fan, you wear your jersey on your back and your heart on your sleeve. There's a place for people like you. The Cox Fan Zone. Play NFL Pick'em and Collegiate Pick'em for a chance to win a $100 Visa gift card each week, or even a $500 Visa gift card grand prize.
Hey, Husker fans, this is Greg Sharpe. Say Fan Zone in your Contour voice remote to play. Not at home? Visit cox.com/fanzone. Go Big Red.
Tickets are on sale now for the Hy-Vee IndyCar Race Weekend Concert Series. Saturday, July 13th, see Luke Combs and Eric Church. And Sunday, July 14th, see Post Malone and Kelsey Ballerini. 5 Live in concert. 1 ticket per day gets you into a race and 2 concerts. Tickets on sale now at HighVIndyCarWeekend.com.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
It's time for some Nebraska farm facts. Want to know a fast way to rev up our Nebraska economy while helping the planet? It's right in your tank. When you fill up with clean soy-based biodiesel, you're increasing Nebraska biodiesel production while reducing greenhouse gases by up to 74%. So look for biodiesel where you fill up. It benefits our air, our economy, and our farmers. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
Woodhouse GMC is bringing you more. With every new GMC purchase from Woodhouse, we're including 3 years of scheduled maintenance. Plus, with our current lease offers going on now, you'll save even more. Lease a 2024 GMC Terrain SLE for $397 a month for 39 months, 10,000 miles per year. $0 due at signing. Woodhouse GMC. We are professional grade. With approved credit. Must finance with GM Financial. Must currently lease a 2019 or newer Buick or GMC vehicle to qualify. Offer expires April 30th, 2024. See dealer for details.
Farming today is a combination of hard work, innovation, and partnerships to help keep us moving forward. Sapp Brothers Petroleum has provided us with fuel, propane, and lubricants on the farm for many years.
For over 52 years, Sapp Brothers has been a reliable partner to thousands of farmers across our great state. We work hard to make sure our customers have the most reliable supply, provided in the safest manner and at the most competitive price. Trust Sapp Brothers Petroleum to protect your equipment and keep your farm fueled. Sapp Brothers is proud to be an official partner of Huskers Athletics and to serve Nebraska farmers and Husker fans across America's heartland.
Hey, Mom. Yeah, I got in a crash. I'm okay. I was wearing my seatbelt.
People count on you to buckle up. Brought to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
At Groundworks, we take great pride in helping our Nebraska neighbors keep their homes healthy. From repairing foundations to waterproofing basements to fixing crawl spaces or lifting concrete driveways. We'd like to think our customers choose us because of our attention to detail or the fact that we're the nation's leading foundation solutions provider. What gives our customers the most comfort is we're right here in Nebraska. Visit groundworks.com for a free estimate. Groundworks. Foundation solutions crafted with pride. The official foundation company of the Huskers.
Hi, this is Husker National Champion and Super Bowl champ Tony Veland. Throughout my football career, chiropractic care helped my athletic performance on the field and kept me in the game. Today, regular chiropractic care keeps me healthy and active to do the things I love. Chiropractic is safe and effective for all ages. Make chiropractic your first choice to reduce pain, improve your mobility, and feel better naturally. It works for me, and it can work for you too. Learn more at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Stay active with chiropractic.
Welcome back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, which is sponsored by Acres, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres, solutions for every field. Welcome back to Sports Nightly. I'm Jessica Coody. And back-to-back quarterbacks selected 1 and 2 in this year's NFL draft. Jaden Daniels goes second overall quarterback out of LSU. He's headed to the Washington Commanders. So we have been chatting with a few of the players throughout spring football practice and getting updates on how it's been going. And last year, Mikai Gbayor, I did a Cornhusker conversation with him and had a long conversation with him. He was fantastic, but I'll never forget, it was at Colorado, and it was when Nick Henrich was coming off his injury. He wasn't quite fully healthy, and Greg and Jeremiah were up in the booth, and they were like, who's can you see who's starting down there at inside linebacker? And Mikai actually ended up getting his first career start at Colorado and ended up being a big piece to this defense all season long. He played in all 12 games last year after not playing in a game his redshirt freshman year in 2022, and he was a redshirt freshman in 2021. So recently I had a chance to catch up with Mikai now that he's one of the leaders for this defense. Here with Mikai Gbayor. Well, how is spring going for you guys? Quickly approaching the annual spring game.
Yes, it's going great. You know, we just every day we're coming out here being physical and practice. You know, is
getting more physical and we getting better. So, I mean, everything's going great.
Your role really grew last year. You became a big part of this defense. How did you approach going into this spring, knowing what you had established last fall?
You know, I'm not trying to worry about much of what I did last year. It's just spring. I just want to become better, more of a leader, and more productive on the field. You know, that's two things I just really focus on going into this spring.
Yeah, how has it been without Nick and Luke? It's been a while since those guys haven't been out here in a uniform.
Yeah, those guys, they helped me out a lot. So now it's just like, you know, they led me the way, and when they left, they handed me the keys. So now it's just, you know, I got to, with the young guys, I got to teach them the way, just how Nick and Luke taught me, and do it better. That's it, yeah.
Do you enjoy that part of it, kind of now being in that role?
No, I don't like feeling old. You know, I like to stay young, you know, but it's good to see the younger guys develop and become better. You know, that's really what it's all about, just helping the younger guys, just helping myself, yeah.
I know you don't want to look on last season, but what did you learn about yourself that maybe you could grow on and even get better on going into this year?
I just need to be better at mastering my skills on both sides, off the ball and on the ball. Linebacker, you know, that's two things, you know, that I'm going to be playing on the next level. And so just got to master my skills, my skill set, yeah.
Being what you guys put in place last year with this defense and with Tony White, how have the dynamics changed going into this year with the expectations and just understanding the coaching staff a little bit better?
What do you mean by that?
Well, just how has it changed at all now that you are familiar with the staff and with the system?
Oh, it haven't. You know, they just raise the standard every time. So it's just nothing changed. It's just everything's just getting better. And, you know, we trying to be that championship team. So everything's just standard just keep raising.
Coach Dvorak, now that you've been with him a while, how has that relationship grown, and what's he looking for you to do here in the spring?
Oh yeah, definitely. Our relationship has grown a lot. You know, it's amazing. So I mean, he wants me to continue to be productive and be a leader for this defense, and that's all I could take from it, and just, you know, do what he say and become a better player. Yeah.
We know about you, we know about John Bullock, but tell us about some of the other linebackers in that room that we should be looking out for.
Oh, man, you got Javen Wright, Vincent Shavers, Steph Thompson, Jake Gbayor. You know, there's a lot of guys in there that could be very productive on this defense. So, you know, it's just not me and John. They got other guys, too, that's going to come out and, you know, make some big plays. So one guy I could say is just Vincent Shavers. That's my guy. You know, I've been in contact with him since he was in high school. So, I mean, that's one guy. You know about everybody else, but that's one guy that sticks out to me.
Yeah. Javen Wright making that move to inside backer after playing in the secondary. How has that progressed? I mean, it looks like he's gotten much bigger.
Yo, he got much bigger, more physical. That man is ready. He's an inside linebacker now, so I'm happy for him. I'm happy what he could do on the field and how he could help us out in the linebacker room. We needed someone like that. Yeah.
You know, this is a defense that uses a lot of people and runs a lot of guys. So how good is the depth there? How do you feel about the depth that you're building at that linebacker spot?
Yeah, the depth is amazing. You know, we got guys, you know, just not our ones and twos could play. We got threes who could go as well. So, I mean, it's very, 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 you know, good. Like, our depth is great. It's amazing. I'm happy for our guys and can't wait to see what they're going to do. Spring game, now, and then in the future during the season. Yeah.
How has it changed for you, too, now that you have experience with a lot of the guys that you're on the field with, like the guys in the defensive line and the secondary, Isaac Gifford? I mean, just when you have a lot of guys out there together that are familiar with each other.
It's just the connection is great, you know, with us. You know, we hold each other accountable, hold us to a high standard, and when we got guys like that, the team's going to be really great. So, I mean, it's going really great. Yeah.
So just a few more practices until the spring game. What is this defense? What are the goals of this defense over these next few practices, and then when you hit the field for the spring game?
Our goal is just to be more physical and more detailed in our work. You know, we talk about being a championship team every day, and you know, to do that, we got to come out and we got to put it on tape. And our goal is just to continue to put it on tape and make great plays and do our job. That's it. Yeah.
How excited are you for the spring game to run back out in front of Husker Nation again?
Man, I love the Husker Nation, and the fans are amazing. And I can't wait. April 27th, it's going to be amazing. Yeah, I can't wait.
Appreciate your time, Mikai.
Thank you.
Good stuff there from Mikai. All right, we've got to work in a break here on Sports Nightly. Got a couple more segments left, including everybody's favorite, Cole's Joke of the Week, is now just minutes away, so stick around for that. Husker fans, check out the all-new Hy-Vee Perks program. Sign up for the totally free Hy-Vee Perks program and enjoy exclusive perks pricing on hundreds of items in-store and online. Score big savings today at Hy-Vee.com/perks.
Pizza's here. Oh, great. I'd love some, but I'm worried about my stomach issues.
If you're worried about having diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools, it may not just be stomach issues. It could be a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
For generations, hardworking people have relied on Ford F-Series trucks, making them America's best-selling trucks 47 years straight. Introducing the new 2024 Ford F-150 and Ford Super Duty, the 2024 North American Truck of the Year. This is the next generation of built Ford tough.
Get 1.9% financing for 72 months plus $1,000 bonus cash on a brand new 2023 F-150 only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
Triple B Feed has the products to help your cows thrive. Whether it's weekly delivery of consumption-controlled Lumix liquid mineral with protein or Sweet Pro block supplements for space feeding, while also stretching your forages up to 25% better, Triple B has you covered. Let Brian and Brad Blauhorn take some of the stress out of your beef production this year. For more information and other products, visit triplebfeed.com. Triple B Feed, helping you and your cattle.
Husker fans, it's baseball season, and your Nebraska baseball team wants to see you at Haymarket Park. Season tickets, diamond deals, and single game tickets are on sale now. Get your tickets today and help the Huskers show everyone in the country why there is no place like Nebraska. For more information and to purchase tickets, visit huskers.com/tickets or call 1-800-8-BIG-RED.
A few drinks at home after work, a couple of hits at a party with some friends, over-the-counter drugs for a minor illness, a new daily prescription, and you're not quite sure how it makes you feel. It doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If it impairs you, driving becomes deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Knottle Companies is proud to support Husker Athletics. As a leader in commercial real estate, we create thriving communities. Discover what's new in the Builders District in North Downtown, Sunny's at Exarban, and Row House Townhomes on Leavenworth. Knottle Companies is adding Omaha's first hybrid timber building to the skyline. Soon to follow is Builders Green Park, surrounded by mouth-watering food, exciting retail, and a hub of thriving businesses. Knottle Companies, building a better Nebraska. For more information, check us out on Facebook and Instagram. Go Huskers!
Did I forget something?
No, just wanted to tell you I love you. Oh, don't forget to buckle up. Drive safe.
I will. Love you too.
Someone is counting on you to buckle up. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Experience personalized service and exceptional deals at Woodhouse Lincoln. With cutting-edge technology and incredible design, Woodhouse Lincoln is the place to find your next luxury vehicle. Lease a 2024 Lincoln Aviator for $759 a month for 39 months, 10,500 miles per year. Or purchase with 2.9% APR for 36 months. With approved credit, security deposit waived. Stock L240075. $5,000 down payment plus first payment and $299 fee due at site. Offer expires 4/30/2024. See dealer for details.
Get ready to rule the field and revolutionize your farming game with Valley, the game changer in irrigation and ag tech solutions. With time and labor-saving measures, ground truthing results, and effective input reduction, Valley provides the perfect game plan so you stay ahead of what's in the field. From the best in irrigation and cutting-edge ag tech solutions to personalized support, Valley is your winning team. Visit your local Valley dealer or valleyirrigation.com today.
Husker fans, springtime in Sarpy County means sports and outdoor activities. Catch an Omaha Storm Chasers baseball game or a Union Omaha Pro soccer match at Werner Park. Visit Fontenelle Forest, where you can enjoy tree rush adventures or hike and bike on one of the many trails. Play a round of golf or experience great fishing. Relax, refresh, and rediscover yourself with a springtime trip. Plan your adventure at GoSharpe.com.
For generations, hardworking people have relied on Ford F-Series trucks, making them America's best-selling trucks 47 years straight. Introducing the new 2024 Ford F-150 and Ford Super Duty, the 2024 North American Truck of the Year. This is the next generation of built Ford tough.
Get 1.9% financing for 72 months plus $1,000 bonus cash on a brand new 2023 F-150 only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
Woodhouse Auto Family is your trusted auto partner with 20 brands and 20 convenient sales and service locations. We're making car buying on your terms. Visit us online at woodhouse.com. So update on the NFL draft. It goes QB as Drake May heads to the New England Patriots as the third overall pick, the quarterback out of North Carolina, and what our resident NFL expert, Jeremiah Sirles, he would pick him. That would have been his number one quarterback. Fourth overall is Marvin Harrison Jr., the wide receiver out of Ohio State. He's headed to the Arizona Cardinals. And so we have a tie-in because we're going to bring you an interview here with a wide receiver here at Nebraska who has something in common with Marvin Harrison Jr. Back on November 24th, Michael Bruntz tweeted, Huskers freshman Jalen Lloyd joins Ohio State's Marvin Harrison Jr. as the only Big Ten players with 3 catches of at least 50 yards this season. So how about that tie-in? Here's my conversation with Jalen Lloyd, recorded a few days ago. Here with Jalen Lloyd. Well, first spring for you. How's it going?
This has been good. I feel a lot more comfortable. Just knowing the plays a little bit better, spending more time with the offense. So it's been going good, getting comfortable.
Your number was called last season after some injuries to some of those older guys in the room. What did you learn? How did you reflect on the things that you took away from last season going into this spring?
I learned that you got to be always be ready to for your time. Obviously, last year was I wasn't expecting for me to be in that situation, but it happened. So now I know you got to always expect to be in that type of position and be ready to make plays.
How much confidence did you take away from that, too, seeing that, you could compete at this level and you were able to make plays for this offense?
It brought me a lot of confidence, just knowing that I could play at that level. Going into it, I had thought maybe I'd be too small, but just going out there and playing slows the game down for you a little bit, so it's not like everything's going 100 miles per hour.
What were your off-season goals before you hit the field again for spring football? Again, balancing track too, but what were some of the things you were trying to target before you hit the field for spring football?
Just improving my route running. I'd say I'm a little bit raw at receiver. Getting my weight up a little bit, as I'm still working on. Got up a little bit, and just becoming a better receiver altogether.
You've done it your whole life, but how have you balanced track and field and competing for the track and field team and doing everything you need to do football-wise?
Right. This year is a little bit different just because you had to do them at the same time. But the football staff and track staff do a great job of working with each other and make sure me and Jeremiah and Bryce got everything we need to stay healthy.
It's been cool to watch you guys really make an impact, and I've talked to some of the older guys that really embrace you guys and say, hey, big things are to come. How has that been, being able to go in and compete and contribute right away as well?
It's been fun. Everything's been happening so fast for us, but we just taking it as we go and enjoying it.
How excited are you about just this track team and the program and where it's headed with, it just seems that you guys got so much momentum going right now.
Yeah, Coach St. Clair and Coach Johnson, they're doing a great job with the track team. Coach St. Clair just got Coach of the Year, so they should be headed in a good path, and me, Jeremiah, and Bryce, going to keep working with them.
Have you found at all that it's conflicted either one, doing track and field and football at the same time, or has it helped each other?
I would say it's helped in the sense of competitiveness, because me and Jeremiah, we get to compete in track almost every day, so then that kind of built us a little friendly rivalry that we can bring out to the football field.
Love that. You talked about learning the playbook. How does that change once you go through a full season? What are some of the things that you really feel comfortable with in learning that playbook now this spring?
I would say that most of the plays really connect to each other, and once when you're first learning it, it's kind of you're kind of learn what you do instead of learning the whole play. So just learning the concept of plays has been a little bit easier for me.
It's been fun. Just a few practices I've watched. Seems like you guys got a lot of talent at the wide receiver room. How much are you guys battling, competing, and feeding off of one another? Yeah,
it's been a battle every day. We're loaded at every position, so then that makes it even better. Like, you got to work. If you want to get on the field, you're gonna have to work for real this year. Even the new incoming freshmen, they've been working hard, so it should be fun.
You already had a relationship connection with Heinrich Harburg. How has it been working with the incoming freshmen, Dylan and Danny?
They've been doing great. All the quarterbacks have been doing great so far. So, yeah.
As the offense, what are you guys looking to do to close out spring before you hit the field for the spring game?
Just clean up on some of the missed assignments and get the operation a little bit smoother.
Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
And that was Jalen Lloyd, the wide receiver and dual sport star here at Nebraska, competing with both track and field and football. And he is nominated for the Freshman Male Athlete of the Year award for the Husker Athletics Night at the Lead coming up on Sunday. All right, let's work in our final break, because on the other side, we've got to get to Cole's Joke of the Week. Husker fans, check out the all-new Hy-Vee Perks program. Sign up for the totally free Hy-Vee Perks program and enjoy exclusive perks pricing on hundreds of items in-store and online. Score big savings today at Hy-Vee.com/perks.
Dear roads, trails, and rivers, you ready for some SUV action? Toyota SUVs can roll their sleeves up for tight turns and twisty trails, dress up for a night out on the town, or head to the great outdoors. Take your family adventure game to a whole new level with the roomy Highlander. Make a serious splash with the rugged, revved up RAV4. And tow all your toys in the spacious new Sequoia. Don't forget the trail-taming 4Runner and the sleek Venza Hybrid. All Toyota SUVs feature a whole suite of creature comforts to keep you and yours cozy in the cabin. Check out this legendary lineup at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers. Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, Village Point Toyota of Omaha, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, or Baxter Toyota of Lincoln.
Knottle Companies is proud to support Husker Athletics. As a leader in commercial real estate, we create thriving communities. Discover what's new in the Builders District in North Downtown, Sunnyside Exarban, and row house townhomes on Leavenworth. Knottle Companies is adding Omaha's first hybrid timber building to the skyline. Soon to follow is Builders Green Park, surrounded by mouth-watering food, exciting retail, and a hub of thriving businesses. Knottle Companies, building a better Nebraska. For more information, check us out on Facebook and Instagram. Go Huskers!
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm broadcasting major Connor Clark with Campus News. For the 7th straight year, the University of Nebraska system is a top 100 patent-earning institution in the world. NU researchers were granted 46 patents in 2023, ranking the university at number 55 nationally, ahead of Big Ten schools like Michigan State and Penn State.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Hi, this is Husker National Champion and Super Bowl champ Tony Veland. Throughout my football career, chiropractic care helped my athletic performance on the field and kept me in the game. Today, regular chiropractic care keeps me healthy and active to do the things I love. Chiropractic is safe and effective for all ages. Make chiropractic your first choice to reduce pain, improve your mobility, and feel better naturally. It works for me, and it can work for you too. Learn more at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Stay active with chiropractic.
At Groundworks, we take great pride in helping our Nebraska neighbors keep their homes healthy. From repairing foundations to waterproofing basements to fixing crawl spaces or lifting concrete driveways. We'd like to think our customers choose us because of our attention to detail or the fact that we're the nation's leading foundation solutions provider. What gives our customers the most comfort is we're right here in Nebraska. Visit groundworks.com for a free estimate. Groundworks, foundation solutions crafted with pride. The official foundation company of the Huskers.
Welcome back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, which is sponsored by Acres, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres, solutions for every field. Final segment here of Sports Nightly on this Thursday night edition. There was a couple of recruiting news coming out today for Nebraska football. It's just been such a big jam-packed show. I haven't been able to get to it. But Gbayor Tenney, the tight end out of American Fork, Utah, committed to the Huskers today. He posted on his social media this morning. He had said that he's excited to play the quarterback like Dylan Raiola. So there's the effect there of that quarterback. And he had 39 offers, including Colorado, Michigan, Ohio State, Oklahoma, and Georgia. How about that? Got another tight end over Georgia in Gbayor Tenney. And also Tanner Church. He's the 7th commitment for this class, an athlete out of Littleton, Colorado, Heritage High School. He is an athlete, was a two-way player there, is a two-way player there, defensive back, wide receiver, so probably going to have those arguments once again between Evan Cooper and Garrett McGuire on which room he ends up in, but probably sounds like maybe more than likely end up a wide receiver, but we will see there. And if that high school in town sounds familiar, it is the same high school and hometown of Rex Guthrie, who just signed in the 2024 signing class, so no doubt he was helping recruit. So Tanner visited last Thursday, picked up an offer, and so that was a quick decision there by him. I think he just felt like it was a special spot for him, and it's a big recruiting weekend. Lots of big names, lots of big-time recruits that are going to be here this weekend. So we'll probably have much more news on the recruiting front coming up on Monday. All right, it is that time. I cue the theme music, which we don't have, but Cole's Joke of the Week time.
We don't have it. It's okay.
We need to build
We're working
that.
on it.
Yes,
We're working on it. Well, first I need to say, I see Dennis is already, we got to not rate the jokes before they're given,
He
right?
said, I know it's going to be a good joke. I'll give it an 8.5. But what if it's better than that, Dennis?
Yeah.
What if it's better?
Or worse.
Okay.
Did you hear about the butcher who backed into his meat grinder?
No.
He got a little behind in his work.
Doo-doo.
Yeah. That's a doo-doo.
Yes. Okay. Let us know what you think. Send us in your ratings for Cole's Joke of the Week on our Woodhouse Auto Family hotline. Woodhouse Auto Family is your trusted auto partner with 20 brands and 20 convenient sales and service locations. We're making car buying on your terms. Visit us online at woodhouse.com, 402-413-2400. We are waiting. Usually the guys in the chat are all on it, and they have not given you any ratings yet. So I don't know. Okay. Husker in Hanover gives you a 6. And Art in Los Angeles, Cole is now telling good jokes since he is known as Colio, the gangster. I give him an AAAA, like Fonzie would say. Cole, okay, funny. Okay, funny. Is that a 7.5 or just a 5? I can't read it. Jim in Columbus, I think it gives you a 5.
That's a question mark and a 5.
Okay.
But we can say that was a 7.
Okay. Crypto, once again, gives you a perfect 10. He nailed it again. Ethan gives you a 9 exclamation points. Shane is very particular on his rating system. He gives you a 6.85. Dryce gives you a 7. So, Crypto says, Cole, you are the man.
It's a decent week. Thank you,
Tim
Crypto.
in Minnesota gives you an 8.8. I
you,
just
Tim.
wonder, though, if at this point, if it's just because like people like you, they give you good scores, or if they actually like the jokes.
Probably both. It's probably both.
Oh, there's a 11 out of 10. Great joke.
I appreciate the support from
Yes.
everybody as we...
Cole looks forward to doing this.
Yes.
All right. Well, you, speaking of polio, you ready for DB in studio?
I'm ready
Coming
for
up?
Saturday, ready for DB. You ready for a lot of interviews
Yes.
on the sidelines?
Yeah, should be a fun broadcast.
It'll be a lot of fun.
So David and I will be here for the pregame show starting at 9 a.m. Greg will be in the booth. He's going to be calling the game coming up for us. So, but we have all the coverage starting at 9 a.m. right here. We're going to be streaming it on our YouTube channel as well. But before that, we've also got baseball and softball on our airwaves coming up tomorrow, 5:30 for baseball, and softball first pitch is at 5:30. They'll be on the air at 5:15. All right, that's going to do it for us. What a great show. Appreciate David back there and Cole for helping me out. Have a great weekend. Enjoy the spring game. Again, huskers.com/tickets if you want to get those tickets and be there on Saturday. Have a great weekend, Husker Nation.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
For generations, hardworking people have relied on Ford F-Series trucks, making them America's best-selling trucks 47 years straight. Introducing the new 2024 Ford F-150 and Ford Super Duty, the 2024 North American Truck of the Year. This is the next generation of Built Ford Tough.
Get 1.9% financing for 72 months plus $1,000 bonus cash on a brand new 2023 F-150 only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
At Groundworks, we take great pride in helping our Nebraska neighbors keep their homes healthy. From repairing foundations to waterproofing basements to fixing crawl spaces or lifting concrete driveways. We'd like to think our customers choose us because of our attention to detail or the fact that we're the nation's leading foundation solutions provider. What gives our customers the most comfort is we're right here in Nebraska. Visit groundworks.com for a free estimate. Groundworks, foundation solutions crafted with pride. The official foundation company of the Huskers.
Not Companies is proud to support Husker Athletics. As a leader in commercial real estate, we create thriving communities. Discover what's new in the Builders District in North Downtown, Sunnyside Exarban, and row house townhomes on Leavenworth. Not Companies is adding Omaha's first hybrid timber building to the skyline. Soon to follow is Builders Green Park, surrounded by mouth-watering food, exciting retail, and a hub of thriving businesses. Not Companies, building a better Nebraska. For more information, check us out on Facebook and Instagram. Go Huskers!
For farmers, productivity isn't an option, it's everything. And at Valley, we feel the same, delivering game-changing technology and irrigation solutions that advance agricultural productivity, with the results to prove it. From our leading irrigation technology to expert advice, you can always rely on Valley to bring out the best in your farm. At Valley, productivity isn't an option,